Piaget Jenkins. In this video, we will take a look at the Workspace model and a brief look into managed applications. Now, the Workspace model shows you the mode in which each feature is running and allows you to change it if you would like, just as you would do from the relevant node itself. Now, to get to the Workspace model, we simply navigate to Setup and then Workspace Model. So you can see everything here from applications down to integration, and essentially it's just a listing of all the different nodes that you will find here on the left hand side under Context, Composition, Security, Diagnostics, and Setup. So if you take a look right here at the bottom left hand corner, you're going to see a box that says Hide Disabled Settings. Now that's ticked by default, that way you kind of get just an overview of what you do have enabled. But what I like to do is I like to uncheck that so I can get a broader overview of my management console, and I can see what I have enabled and what I do not have enabled. So basically you're able to go in here and turn things off or on, and then under certain sections such as the shell here, you can actually choose certain settings that you can also manipulate from here as well. Now, the best way to think about this is probably just to think of it such as a switch box for your management console. So you can kind of come here, get it just a general overview, turn what you want on, turn what you want off, and what's nice about it is that there's no longer a need to have an all or nothing approach. So you can kind of manage your environment in the pieces that you want to choose. So you can choose to have applications, for example, and user registry. So there's no need to have everything turned on and everything turned off. Now, once you're in here, you can see that basically, as I mentioned before, you can either have things enabled, you can hit the drop box and disable it, or you can double click here. And if you hit this little box on the right hand side here, it's actually going to take you to that node so you can perform any other configuration that you would like to do. Now, let's go ahead and navigate back here to our Workspace model and let's take a look at our managed applications. Now, as mentioned before, under the Workspace model, you have the option to actually choose the settings that you want to take under Managed Applications. But let's actually go ahead and click this box here and jump over to the node itself. Now, right now it's set to do nothing for the Windows shell shortcut creation. And by default, it's going to be set to do nothing right out the box, so we're not managing any applications whatsoever. Now, if you want to manage some applications, but you already have some users which they have shortcuts and applications which they use, but you do not want them to be managed, then that's when you select the Merge with Unmanaged Shortcuts. Now, if you're going in and you want to have complete control and manage all applications, you would select Replace All Unmanaged Shortcuts. That way, any application that is run within the environment is a managed application from Workspace Manager. So this time around, we're going to place it on Merge with Unmanaged Shortcuts, and we're going to make sure to hit the Apply button. Now, if we keep going, we can see here that we have a box in the middle and has a lot of different options for us. So let me zoom in. You can see that the first option is auto launch new applications on refresh, which is nice to have if you have any applications that are automatically configured to launch automatically, but you can make it to where it launches on refresh as well. So you have that anywhere from disable active setup, which basically skips the first time shell initialization, which can take some extra time on logon, all the way to removing empty menus if you have any there. And then you can also select to start specific applications according to the application ID or launch path, depending on whether the application or the user session actually is online or in an offline state. So let's zoom out. Then right down here we have the default for new applications, which you can click the Set button here, and you can set any default configuration items that you want to have in place for new applications that you import into them in managed applications. But actually we're going to save that for another video sometime in the near future, so let's go ahead and click Cancel on that. And let's take a look and see how our users experience the merge with unmanaged shortcuts. Now let's go ahead and get logged in with our user here as usual. Now remember that we're going to take a look and see what happens when we have our shortcut shell creation set to merge with our managed shortcuts. Now I've gone in and I've created an Adobe Reader 10 managed application already. So as we see here, I've created that shortcut to be placed on the user's desktop. So if we right click here and we check a look at properties, you can see that we are launching that shortcut as a managed application with the PowerGate and its application ID number of 65. Now if we go into the user start menu, we can see that it's not all set up and organized for them. They could pretty much launch all the other unmanaged applications which they've already had. And if we take a look at Adobe Reader 10 here and go to properties, we can see that we're not managing this specific shortcut for Adobe Reader 10. Now let's go ahead and log out and let's change the shortcut creation to replace with all unmanaged shortcuts, and then we'll take a look at the user once again. Okay, so now I've logged out with that user and I've gone back into our management console and I've changed the shortcut shell creation to replace all unmanaged shortcuts. So let's go ahead and get logged in again and see what happens this time around. Okay, and as we can see, the same Adobe Reader 10 shortcut here. Let's right click there and take a look at the properties. And once again, it is launched by us via PowerGate with this application number ID of 65. So let's click cancel. Now let's take a look in the start menu. Now once you click on the start menu, you notice that it's been completely reconfigured based upon which applications the user is allowed to access. And if you click on all programs, you can see only the applications that which the user is allowed to access is displayed and made available to that user. So once again, if we click here and take a look at the properties, we can see again that is launched by PowerGate with this application ID number. So now the user can only launch applications that are managed by Workspace Manager. And once again, thanks again for viewing. This has been Workspace Model and Managed Applications for RES Workspace Manager 2011.